She thinks bad about herself. 40 and still single. The honest truth about men and leftover women.
You can say anything you want except it's all in your head.
You know, it's a simple point that I haven't really covered enough. But what does turn a lot of men off is how a lot of women, think about themselves.
Sorry, I'm such a mess.
And that radiates through her pores, basically.
So what I thought when I was in my 20s and 30s about feminine energy was this. To me, it seemed like this very complicated method or complicated, formula. That's the word. A complicated formula of, having your feminine energy balancing out with your masculine energy.
But before she continues, I hope you're focused and on your square. Also, like and subscribe to my channel.
This is drugs.
Did my button light up? I've just noticed. The subscribe button lights up when you say like and subscribe to my channel. I've only just noticed it. Yeah. In other words, it's YouTube implementing AI into the platform. They've done a few things, but yeah, that's not the point. That's not what we're here for. But yeah, like and subscribe to my channel. I don't know how many times it works, but yeah, interesting. But if a lot of men were honest, a lot of men would say that some women think themselves out of a good man. A woman would think herself out of a decent man. A lot of women think themselves into absolute BS anyway. Like the woman in my previous video said, she couldn't handle peace and calm. She needed chaos just to feel normal.
Let's talk about feminine energy. I want to drop some wisdom here.
Okay.
I am 49 and I do like to drop wisdom.
Okay.
I'm moving into my wise years. So what I thought when I was in my 20s and 30s about feminine energy was this. To me, it seemed like this very complicated method or complicated, formula. That's the word. A complicated formula of, having your feminine energy balancing out with your masculine energy. And you always had to have it in perfect balance. But then if you were trying to attract someone like the love of your life, you had to be more feminine. So you had to bring out more of that femininity.
Okay.
And then you had to be more, alluring. And if you weren't, if you were awkward like me and didn't know how to flirt with anything, being more feminine in terms of being able to be alluring. And, I'd look at my friends and they would be able to bat their eyelashes or, move their hips. And I was just like, ick, I can't do that. I don't know how to do that.
More feminine.
And that's the point I want to use right there. A woman not knowing how to just be feminine. Now look, from one perspective, if we're going to be balanced, you can say, oh, it'd be difficult for some women to understand to just be feminine and display traits of femininity. Okay, cool. But it's always used on men that men should automatically be able to just be men, masculine.
Damn right.
Straight away, without any actual growth or anything. Okay, but my point is, how much do women think themselves into being single? How much do women think themselves into their own loneliness? How much do women think themselves into becoming leftover women? I'm not going to act like men didn't have anything to do with some women being single. But even when you add that to it, my point is, how many women are or will be single leftover women simply because they think themselves into being so? They make themselves paranoid. And they don't even smoke ganja. Some of them. They create their own anxiety, their own illusions and delusions. We understand women can create illusions of grandeur and, an amazing Prince Charming of a man. But sometimes as men, do we overlook the fact that some women are creating their own torture?
More feminine.
If you will. It's not funny. Their own prisons and traps that keep them single. The reason I'm saying it is because a lot of men notice it. A lot of men see in a woman, hey.
Oh God.
Like, I understand a lot of women are insecure, but your insecurity is
She's crazy.
It's quite strong. Are you okay? Are you okay, woman? So the overall point to my waffle, and the point I'm making is, for all the problems women say they have with men, how many women are just alone and lonely simply because she thinks herself into a mess, a confused, anxious mess of a person? Well, that's on her.
Do that. I don't know how to do that. And so my interpretation of feminine energy was just so terrifying to me. And I thought that it was impossible. And then immediately my beliefs turned into, well, I'm never going to be able to find someone because I can't do feminine energy.
Wow.
I don't know how much feminine and how masculine I'm supposed to be and how to balance those energies within me, and
Oh,
how
that's
to
right.
be, sexy and alluring and all of these things. So in other words, I completely got overwhelmed. I gave up on it. I felt like I wasn't good enough, and it made me feel really, really terrible about myself.
You know, as men, do you sometimes overlook that some women have no idea how to be sexy and alluring? Because as men, we just see women as, yeah, it's a chick. Yeah, she's kind of hot. I'd do her. Yeah. But sometimes as men, do we overlook the fact that some of these women are just so broken? Broken is probably a bit too strong to use, but just probably a bit of a mess. That she has no idea how to even be a sexy chick, how to be alluring. Like, we may see her and think, hey, yeah, I'd do her.
Not bad.
She's hot. But she has no idea how to conduct herself, tripping over her own feet, stumbling over her words, has no idea how to flirt. Yeah. Again, how many women are single because they simply think themselves into their own singledom? She thinks she's not great. Is it surprising that men would think the same thing? I'm just saying.
Struggled with my self-esteem and had so many insecurities around this topic of feminine energy. That's where I was coming from.
I know for women, over 40,
Mm,
like you really want to meet someone who's stable. You want to meet someone who is ready to settle down.
okay.
But the truth is that, the older we get, the more difficult it is to get back on that horse. And in terms of finding good men and attracting good men after 40, it can feel really hard. It can feel really hard because maybe you've been divorced more than once.
Damn.
You feel like you should have, you should be a certain level by the age of 40. Maybe you have your own built-in family already. You've
Okay.
created a life for yourself, and there's a fear of giving up that sense of independence. There's a fear of losing yourself along the way. There's this fear of, if I'm being honest, that you feel like you've reached your peak already, like the
Ooh,
peak is already passed in terms of your market value, and that you may
okay.
even feel like you're on the decline.
Ah. Ah.
You're on the decline.
Interesting. Now, beyond the let's just say beyond a few men on the internet saying that some women have passed their peak at that age.
Decline.
Some would even say late 20s, just past their peak. But you get the point. What about when women think it themselves? What about when they put the thought on themselves?
Decline.
Again, imagine a woman comes across a man and he may not think it. He may be perfectly fine with her age and everything. He doesn't even care.
However,
But she herself, yeah, she makes herself paranoid and anxious and scared. And then she ends up turning him off. Making him run. And he was perfectly fine with her. He was fine with her age. But the point I'm making is, regardless of men waffling about this and that, a wall-smashed woman, so self-entitled. She needs to sit down and be humble. Beyond that, how many women internalize those thoughts? Think it themselves. They know what's going on in their body. They know what happened in their life. So my point is, a lot of men notice that a lot of women in their 30s and 40s seem a bit anxious. Some would say a bit desperate as well. And it's a sense of, well, woman, what's going through your head to make you so desperate and anxious?
Decline.
And as a man, I can see and sense your desperation and anxiety. So because I can see and sense it, yeah, I'm not interested. Yeah, I don't want anything to do with it. And there could be nothing wrong with the woman apart from the fact
she's crazy.
she's doing gymnastics in her own mind and just ruining everything because she can't get it together. Yeah. Is it a point that's overlooked too much? Do we overlook it? Yes, bad men exist, crap men exist. But what about a woman who's an anxious, bumbling mess and simply because of that makes her unappealing?
So all of this plays a role into what's happening in between your mind. Here, this is the thing that's really impacting you in terms of meeting the quality men after 40 and really being able to attract and receive what it is that you want. And so really the problem becomes, because of all of the things that's happening in your head, what the truth is that your skills are mediocre. You have mediocre skills in meeting men and attracting them and really getting to know them, especially in this digital age, like where it's all about social media and people, we don't really know how to interact anymore. And so the women that I work with, they always come to me and they have their checklist. Okay, are you a Christian? Boop. What do you like? Do you have a good job? Boop. Like debt level? Boop. Like whatever it is in your checklist. Okay, can you provide? Check. And there's this sense of showing up with it like you're on an interview versus really being able to connect with someone, which is what men really want to feel from you anyway.
Exactly. Exactly. Like my previous few videos, I've been making the point that structural examples women are very good at. Education, job roles, certain skills and tasks, women do them very easily.
Attractively.
But notice a lot of women have taken that skill and tried to implement that into dating a human being. It's like, no, woman, you're good at your job here. You can't. This is a man. This is a man. Again, she's saying it herself as well. How many women overthink it? Think themselves into their own singledom. Think themselves into being a leftover woman, a cat lady, simply because instead of trying to get to know a man, a lot of these women are interviewing men. Like we're going to be employees at her job. Yeah, really, that's not appealing. It's not sexy, it's not alluring, not romantic, it's not warm and comfortable in any way. And it's definitely not feminine.
So before I even go forward, I really want to hear from you. Like, what are some of the challenges? What do you believe is different in terms of dating after 40 as a woman? Like, I want you to go ahead and post something in the comments and share so that I'll know where you are, and it also will help me to create more content as we move along.
In recent years, there has been a noticeable increase in the number of single women aged 40 and above.
Okay.
This rise can be attributed to a variety of factors, ranging from changing societal norms to personal choices. However, one of the underlying issues that may be contributing to this trend is the lack of femininity in modern women. In today's society, there seems to be an increasing emphasis on women being independent, strong, and assertive. While these are all positive traits, they can sometimes overshadow more traditional notions of femininity, such as being nurturing, soft-spoken, and emotional.
Yeah, it does come back to women being too tough and too chewy.
Too tough.
Undigestible, such as going to give you heartburn, heartache, heart palpitations, a heart attack, and more. Everything to do with the heart, but it's not love, is it? No. Steve Harvey wrote a book, Think Like a Man, but the reality is that's the problem for a lot of women. They think like men, but the women.
As a result, many women struggle to strike a balance between being confident and assertive while still embracing their femininity. This struggle can be particularly pronounced in the dating world, where women may feel pressured to conform to certain stereotypes in order to be seen as desirable partners. Women who are seen as too assertive or independent may be perceived as intimidating or even emasculating to potential partners. On the other hand, women who are seen as too traditionally feminine may be viewed as weak or submissive. This dichotomy can make it difficult for single women aged 40 and above to navigate the dating scene with confidence. They may feel pressure to downplay their strengths and accomplishments in order to appear more traditionally feminine, or they may feel insecure about embracing their femininity in a society that values assertiveness and independence. In addition to these internal struggles,
Assertive has nothing to do with losing femininity. Nope. I think that's where a lot of women are going wrong. Thinking themselves into absolute BS. Being a strong, assertive woman is actually appealing to a lot of men. But a woman acting like a dude in her assertiveness, that's not appealing. Again, women thinking themselves into their own loneliness. It's not even what men want, but she thinks it is.
in addition to these internal struggles, there are also external factors that can make it challenging for single women aged 40 and above to find a partner. Ageism is a prevalent issue in the dating world, with many people believing that women over a certain age are no longer desirable or attractive. This stigma can make it difficult for older women to find partners who are willing to see past their age and appreciate them for who they are. Furthermore, the dating pool for women in this age group may be limited, as many men may be seeking younger partners. This can leave older women feeling disheartened and discouraged, as they struggle to find someone who is willing to see beyond their age and appreciate them for who they are. In conclusion, the rise of single women aged 40 and above may be influenced by a variety of factors, including the lack of femininity in modern women and the challenges that come with navigating the dating world as an older woman. By addressing these issues and encouraging women to embrace their femininity while still being confident and assertive, we can help empower older women to find partners who appreciate and value them for who they are.
But is it too late? The mind is a powerful thing. In some cases, the thoughts of a lot of women is what's keeping them single, undateable.
Me and my cat.
Exactly.
Have a nice day.
Feeling energy.